What up, fam? It's the boy Holly Kali, back with another edition of Say That. Today we're talking about religion. This part 2.
Oh, wow.
You've seen part 1. So we're going to start off with everybody introducing themselves. I just want to know the state you're calling from and your specific religious beliefs or background. So, Fit, we heard yours. We'll go ahead and start with you real quick just because we'll just continue from where we left off. So go ahead, Fit.
What up? It's Fit. I'm from California. West side to best side. You already know.
And your religious belief or background?
Christianity.
All right.
You see it.
So, and then okay. Then we'll go to Brain Clinton, your religious belief or background and the city you call it. I mean, not the city, but the state. You can name the city if you want to in your name.
Los Angeles, California. I was raised indoctrinated like pretty much most African American people, but I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, as of right now, I don't subscribe to words like belief, and I don't put doctrine above real people. So I wouldn't really say I have a religion or even subscribe to belief systems. I'm more so like, show and prove type.
That's bullshit.
Huh? All right.
Prove it.
BG, we heard yours last time, but if you want to briefly tell them your religious belief and your state you're calling from.
Yo, this BG, calling from Bakersfield, California. Was raised up as a Jehovah's Witness, Christian background.
Okay.
All right, and then Mike Jones. Don't say who, please. It's just Mike Jones.
Sorry, who?
I was raised Christian, but I'm pretty much into all religions because they all basically tell the same story and they have the same good things that come out of it. So.
Okay. And is it just y'all two, or is Jill hopping in too?
She gonna drop a little knowledge.
What's up? Oh, am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
Obviously, y'all in the same state, but
how did she get that remote camera like that?
Grew up Christian, but similar to Ash, similar to Mike Jones here, kind of
everything.
Yes, kind of everything. Kind of to each his own,
right?
And good things from a lot of different religions. So I'm open.
That's what's up. Let's pop it off though. Let's have it.
All right, to catch y'all up, the first question I asked last time is, do y'all believe we living in hell right now? And I'm gonna start that off with Brain Clinton because I saw you. So, yeah, go ahead. Because I know we all have heard it. So how do you feel about that statement?
Yeah, you know what? Due to the fact that I'm outnumbered, like when people use terms like hell, you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know how to respond to that because it's like, are we burning or something? Are we living perception of reality is based on an individual. You might get an answer. Somebody might say yes to that. Somebody might feel that they're living in heaven. But as far as I'm living, it's just your perception. I feel like people are battling with their inner self and they personified that. And it's just more comfortable for most people to believe in existence of a higher order, as far as a human or whatever people perceive God as, but it's just more comfortable, and I'm more comfortable just knowing that I'm just a piece of dust in the universe and I'm insignificant, and I don't really feel like there's any humans are humans. I believe in energy, I believe in physics, I believe in mathematics, I believe in everything that holds us together, but I don't, as far as hell, I don't see the composition of what would somebody consider hell. I don't see it in my current existence.
I'm praying for you, brother.
Oh, that's a nice idol you have there. That's a nice idol. That's nice.
All right. So Fit,
golden-
we heard
the
yours
golden
on part 1. If y'all want to hear Fit's part, check in on part 1. BG, we heard yours on part 1. So we're gonna go ahead to Mike Jones and let
And
you brush
do
your
I believe we living in hell? Is that the question?
No, do you believe we're living in hell? Because of
Okay. Well, here's the answer to it. I don't believe that because I don't really believe in a hell. Hell is what you make it. Heaven is what you make it too. I don't believe in an eternal punishment for small, at least in what my mind is, small life experience mistakes or issues. I just don't believe it like that. Heaven is where what you make it. Hell is too. You could be living in hell on earth if you are living in bad situations, but you can also be living in heaven on earth too. So it kind of really doesn't correlate like that. Hell ain't hell or fire and brimstone for me. It's just not.
Am I allowed to partake in the festivities on this TV show, or are you like on some censored type?
Oh, you good, fam? Do you? Okay, so one of the next questions I asked everybody.
Hold on, let's rock it to Jill.
You know.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Jill.
Oh, okay.
Do you think we're living in hell?
Interesting.
And have you heard that before? And do you believe that or whatever?
I've heard it before. I've never had a discussion about it. And when I think about hell, I feel like, I don't know, that I remember being a little girl, for example, and when somebody would say that we're going to go to hell, my mind would actually go to earth will become like a living hell at a certain point if mankind keeps going the way it does. And everyone's trying to reach a little higher echelon so that doesn't happen. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? Sorry to interrupt. I just want to ask one question. To just redefine the question you already asked. What is the definition of hell that you're talking about? Just so, with respect to the
Everyone has
question you
to have a
asked.
different definition of it.
You talking to me?
Well, yeah, because like in my mind, I just want to make sure I'm understanding the premise because I do understand because everybody believes something different. When you ask that, hell is going to be different for somebody. So you know,
I'm asking in general regarding your specific belief because
What you believe hell is?
me personally, just like you said, or just like Mike Jones said, I personally don't believe in hell. I don't believe a hell exists. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's a big topic when it comes to religion. And I've also heard a lot of people saying that we've lived there. And it even goes a lot deeper to like I've heard people saying that the coming back of Christ have already happened and he's not coming back again and certain stuff like that. So
all the fuckery.
Yeah.
All right, for you non-believers, hold on. For all you non-believers, do you believe that the sun is going to rise in the morning?
I don't use belief.
No, I'm just saying. No.
Yeah, you want me to answer the question?
Is the sun going to rise in the morning?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Hold on. Look,
can I answer? Okay. Listen.
Hold on. Let's do this. Look, Fit, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come right back to your question right after this. What do you mean, Brain Clinton? What do you mean by you don't use the word belief? What do you mean by that?
Well, I know what the word belief means, and when you break it down, it's
what's your definition of it?
When you break it down, it's like more so a belief is something that you don't know for sure. So hence the words you believe. You don't know for sure. Like, for example, like when he asked that question about, do I believe the sun is going to come up? No, I don't believe that, but I know tomorrow I'm going to see the sun. You know what I'm saying? It's not a belief. It's a no. If you know, then you don't believe. If you believe, then you're guessing or hoping or wishing. And you know, people they don't be knowing what they say. Just say words and it all sounds good to them. Belief sounds like a good word, but to me it's a bad word. I don't believe in. I don't have.
Okay, go ahead. You want to ask?
Is it okay if I alter my answer from earlier? You know, if there is a hell, we are in hell because this is where the pain is, the fear, the suffering, the worry, the anything bad, the sickness. I don't believe in heaven and hell in the aspect like what the Bible says, but if you can't put anything on a hell, we have to be in it. This is where the fear is and the pain and the worry, the sick, the bills, the stress, the all that stuff. If there was a hell, this would have to be it, because this is where the bad stuff happens.
Well, basically, what I was explaining with the sun is, you see a big fiery ball in the sky every day. Every day, it heats up the planet. So, if you don't believe in hell, go stand on the sun. That's like transport people from Earth to the sun, and then you'll believe.
But we can't even make it hard.
Hey, yo, I gotta ask you something.
That's an interesting perspective. Interesting.
I gotta ask you something.
Yeah.
Why do you always come with like some outrageous, like topic as
No, that's not off the topic. That's real talk, because
like,
people say,
why don't you go live on the sun? Like, who's
no, I didn't say live on the sun, but I'm explaining to you the concept of hell, because the concept of hell in the Bible is like a burning, where you burn eternally. And we're literally, the planet is heat on like another planet that's on fire eternally.
So
that's why actually the sun's not eternal.
But I'm saying it's not eternal. But I'm saying the sun is going to be here before you and after you.
So let me ask you this. Do you take the words in the Bible, because you say you're Christian, right? So
right.
Do you take the words in the Bible literally or like metaphorically?
I take some you can take them literally, and some you do take metaphorically.
So,
you can't take everything
literally. Hell to be literally what it's saying as hell, or metaphorically as
I take it literally.
Okay. Anybody else want to jump in on that? Do y'all take it literally or metaphorically?
No, well, here's the thing about the Bible for me, right? And not to offend anybody, I respect everybody's feelings and beliefs and stuff, and I believe a little bit of it too. But for me, it's not about it being literal. It's more about taking the lessons from it metaphorically to basically lead you in the right direction of being a good person. Because you can't take anything that you read literally. God didn't write the book. Jesus didn't write the book. And as a matter of fact, the people that did write the parts that Jesus said and didn't come until a couple of years after he was gone. Like this, if you can't read the newspaper today and believe every single word literally, then how can you believe a book that you didn't write, from the people that you didn't meet, from people that wasn't there when this stuff actually happened? That can't be absolutely literal. Nothing is absolutely literal, because even with it being what they said, that's still only their perspective, not other people's. Mark's perspective in the Bible is Mark's thought, and what Mark went through, and what Mark thought. But that doesn't mean somebody else didn't see it another way. So if you take it literally, then you're only choosing to decide that one perspective. And if you do that, that's a bad move.
It's like taking Cat in the Hat seriously. Like, come on, man. Like, we know there's no green eggs in ham.
Cat in the Hat is serious.
We know there's no green eggs in ham. We know Spider-Man is not real. We know, it's just like people should know the Easter Bunny is not real, and we should know Santa Claus isn't real. But for adults, the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus is like, the whole Jesus. And, it's like people personify. And people want to lean on something. They don't want to think that there's nothing after death. They don't want to study physics. They don't want to talk about energy. They don't want to talk about, transfer of energy. That doesn't mean anything to them because they have faith.
So what do you mean by transfer of energy, B? Transfer energy.
Well, there's different energy states in physics. You know what I'm saying? There's potential energy, there's kinetic energy, and there's thermal energy, and there's spring potential energy, and they're different states. So when something changes from one state of energy to another, there's just a distribution of energy. So if I have
you're saying when you die, your energy is going to be distributed to another form of energy, right?
Yeah,
absolutely correct.
That's
so what if your energy ends up being distributed to the sun?
Then that's what it is.
That's just what it is. You're still a part of the universe.
But I'm saying in a physical form of your body, and you feel everything on Earth, and it's distributed to the sun because you didn't believe.
I don't know how to think like that. My mind doesn't work like that.
But you just said once you die, your energy goes somewhere, right? You just broke it down. You just pretty much said you believe in physics. You just broke it down. You believe. Okay. Pretty much.
Wait.
Let me ask you something. Hold on. Brain Clinton, let me ask you something. What do you believe or what do you think, or what do you propose, or do you just have no idea about what's going to happen after death?
Well, once you're dead, your body will, decay, and some maggots will probably pick at the flesh,
Not the body,
and
the energy you were talking about. Come on.
and then
I'm
and
talking
then
about what's moving your body.
That energy you were talking about.
To some degree, you'll just be, I don't know the exact answer, but I know maybe something similar to reincarnation, maybe a higher life form, maybe a lower life form. You might come into a next, but
You're going to hell, bro.
Hey, can I answer that too? Let me
you,
answer that too.
thank you, Christian.
I want you to go to heaven though, but you should believe.
Let me answer that too. You know what does happen with the energy from your body when you die? You get buried. The ground and the animals in it, the insects in it, consume your body. They fertilize the ground where the grass grows. So your energy gets transferred into the grass that's growing wherever your body was ended up being buried. And after that, the animals that eat that grass, your energy is transferred into them, which means is your energy sustains their life for. You're never really absolutely gone. Your energy is still here even after you die. Your body fertilizes the ground, which makes the grass. Animals eat the grass, which keeps them alive.
Okay. Let me ask you guys this. I just have a question. I have a question. Everybody has someone they love that passed, right?
Yes, of course.
And you have their memory in your head, right?
Yes.
So you're saying to yourself that their energy is in the grass and ground and stuff like that. You're saying there's not a place physically other than this that you may run into them after this round.
No. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't want to.
Why wouldn't you want to?
Because
if you love them that much, why wouldn't you want to see them again?
Because if you're in heaven, right? Or at least your thought process of heaven, I might not even know that person anymore. They're going to be voided of I'm not, my feelings are going to be gone. It's just supposed to be bliss, which means their faces don't need to be there to make me happy. I'm in utopia already. So running into somebody that I saw when I was alive isn't going to change anything for me because I'm already in utopia.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want to be in utopia? But the way you're explaining it, the way you're explaining it is that you rather it be hell. You're explaining you want the pain. You don't even want utopia. That's the way you're explaining it.
Hey,
No.
Hey,
hold on. Before we go too far, is Jill still there?
Yes, here.
Yeah. Let me ask her. What do you believe is happens to you after death, or is going to happen? Where do you think you're going after death?
I mean, I don't know a sufficient answer, because I think that what it comes down to is how do you know? I mean, I think that's the big question. I think that's a bigger question than you think it is.
Excellent. That's excellent. I like that.
And yeah, I can admit that I don't know. Someone who's open to different religions and what a lot of different people believe happens when they die. There is a podcast that I do listen to where that's the question they ask a guest every time is, what happens when you die? Like, because it's always a different answer. It's never the same.
Okay, let me ask you one more before we pass that. Do you believe your religion is the only true religion, and do you believe that anybody outside? Or you said you're Christian, right?
Well, yeah, I grew up Christian. I don't denounce God or anything. I can't say I go to church.
You consider yourself as Christian?
Huh?
You consider yourself to be a Christian?
For the most part, yeah, I guess.
For the most part, yeah.
I think y'all bullying her. I think y'all. It sounds like y'all bullying her. She might secretly be a free thinker.
Well, I'm just saying, if I do identify Christian, I'm not a practicing one.
Hey, Jill, you don't have to be Christian. Don't let them punk you into that. You can be an independent thinker. Don't fall for the okie.
Yeah, you can go to hell with Brian Clayton and the rest of them.
It exists.
All right. Yeah. Hold on.
You want to take that chance?
The question is, do you believe your religion is the only true religion, or do you believe that the people who don't believe in your religion will be going to hell not believing it?
Who are you talking to?
To Jill.
Oh, okay.
I would say no. Just logically, it doesn't make sense to me, because I don't know. My logic says that if that's the case, why isn't there a religion that includes everybody, where everyone has that chance to get exposed to that one religion?
Everything she's
The
saying
only
is excellent.
religion that, because I don't know, that part never made sense to me. I felt like there's many different ways to spread the same message based on where you're from and what culture you've been exposed
Exactly.
to and what you can understand out of a situation.
But the thing about Christianity is that anybody can accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior and be
Hey,
saved from their sins.
let me
So
elaborate.
anybody,
Yeah,
anybody.
I have to elaborate on what she just said. I have to, because that was an excellent point. When I was younger, I used to go, well, I just so happen to be black in America, and I'm Christian. What if I was like Japanese? Like, am I denied because am I
There's
not
Japanese
God?
Christians.
They're converts, but then in the Bible it speaks of a bloodline of people that come directly, under
Just
the name
saying,
of
like,
God.
whatever culture you came up in,
I want to answer that question too.
right?
So
Here's my answer to that question. I don't believe that there's only, if you don't believe in my religion or the one religion, that you go to hell or whatever, because all the religions are basically based off of other religions. Christmas is basically based off of a pagan holiday.
They're all Abrahamic.
Christianity was not the first religion, and they all basically take pieces from each other. Jesus, if you look at all religions, there was a guy named Horus. He was an Egyptian god. He has the exact same story as Jesus Christ. All of the holidays, Easter, Christmas, all that stuff for Christianity, they all were actually based off of pagan holidays when the Italian emperor, I can't remember his name right now, but it was an Italian emperor who decided to make Christian holidays coincide with pagan holidays, so the pagans, it would be easier for them to convert to Christianity. Christianity was not the first, so how could you say, well, if you're not Christian, you're going to hell and this is the only true religion? It wasn't the first, and it has a lot of pieces from other religions that were older.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest though, and this is gonna make a lot of people want to shoot me, but I'm really disappointed in black people for having for it's 2018 and they ain't figured it out, and the information is out there, man. Get off that chitlin
Right.
scribble drip.
As a matter of fact, if you look at the Bible, you said that you did feel like you took it literally. If you look at the Bible in the 1800s, in the Bible, it said for a slave to get to heaven, he had to be a happy and obedient slave to make it to heaven. That was from the Bible. So if you believe in it literally, then you should be a slave, and that's the only way that you're going to get to heaven, because it said that in the Bible, didn't it?
For black people.
Look at that idol that Christian is holding up to that screen right there. What kind of Christian is you? What kind of Christian is that? Like, come on, you're a Christian and you got your little idols all up in there.
That's not an idol. That's called a pinky ring.
My nigga got golden calves in the background and shit.
But I'm gonna keep it real though. Like, everybody wanna.
Hold on. BG,
Go ahead.
he ain't got to say nothing. You got anything to say about what's been said so far?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot to be said about it. I'm gonna try to keep it structured and keep it, plain and simple. In the factualization of everything that we are talking about right now, as far as religion, I'm gonna just keep it real. Even as somebody that does believe in a religious system, a lot of this shit, to be truthful, is bullshit. Straight up. Do your research. Look at how it came apart. Look at what transpired for it. Everything that we're doing and putting our faith into is something that's man-made, and that's what I refuse to believe in. It's straight up man-made. We don't got the proof. We don't got anything. Majority of all the scriptures came from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Nobody's seen the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then it's also interpreted. Don't nobody speak Aramaic like that. You know what I mean? That's a dead fucking language. And then they said they got somebody here who's cracked that code, who's interpreted and said what they said. And if you know anything about real power and stuff like that, the one who knows the most controls the damn power. And if you wanted to, you can distribute it the way that you want for your control. And I believe that's what we're really upon. It's just something that's convenient for us to believe in, to keep us going, to keep us in the aspect of happiness. Because if we didn't have that fucking control, this world would be in total fucking chaos. Total chaos.
Let me ask a question to all of y'all. So y'all don't believe in it because you never seen it before, right? Or you never experienced it.
Not true.
Right.
Not totally what I'm saying. No.
No, okay.
Could you rephrase the question for me? Because I'm not that bright like that.
Because you're saying, you're saying like people are believing in stuff that they have no knowledge of, that they never experienced.
Right.
But then you're breaking down facts of stuff you never experienced. You never died. You never experienced your body going into the soil and your energy passing on. So you're like your whole statement is contradictive.
But neither of you know that hell exists. Heaven does too. You've never been there.
No. The answer to that is you can look at the facts of, we've seen other things decay. We can see what happens to other animals. We can watch an animal die, and we can watch what happens to it. We're not
talking about decaying flesh. We're talking about what happens after death.
Well,
nobody knows.
But you don't know either. You've never died either. You don't know if hell or heaven exists. You've never been there.
But my thing is somebody that can say, I might come back. How the hell are you gonna come back? What are you talking about?
Who said that?
Brian Clinton said he might come back.
He did say that.
Well, do you have a problem with him believing that?
No. You're taking a play on the words. When I say come back, I really mean you'll be redistributed into another form of energy. When I say come back, that's just a play on words. But I'm not saying come back, and I'm not saying
you did say you might come back as like an animal or something. Didn't he say that?
A plant or a rock or something.
Right. So what are you talking about?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Non-believers, they're everywhere. Except heaven.
No, believers are everywhere, to tell you the truth.
No, they're everywhere. They're everywhere except heaven.
What does heaven look like?
Believe what you want.
All right, so look, another question I want to ask all y'all. We asked BG and earlier is how do you feel your race relates to your religious beliefs, or does it?
Well, if you're black, it's almost innate that you would probably most likely be Christian, because when we were brought here, the Christian religion was actually forced on us. So for the most part, if you're black, you're usually most likely, and not put everybody in the bowl or nothing, but most likely you're probably Christian or something, Baptist, something to that effect, because that's what it was when you got here. That's what was passed down. First it was forced, then it was you needed it to survive. You had to, there's a heaven. So I know that me being a slave, getting beat, getting hurt, watching my family get taken away, there's got to be a reward after this. So heaven and everything's going to be beautiful and blissful and all this and all that. It's usually pretty much innate like that. Just like if you were born in the Middle East, you're probably Muslim. If you were born somewhere else in the Middle East, you're probably Israeli. Here, if you're black, you're probably a Christian. It depends on where you're from and what that religion or what religion is most dominant in that area. At least as far as my experience has been.
All right. Let's ask Jill next, since she's the only one that's not black.
All right.
Wait.
But maybe she identifies with being black.
Or I mean, if you do, that's fine. Are you black, Jill? Jill, are you black?
Not black. No.
What's your background?
My background?
What do you identify as?
Well, probably American. Probably.
Oh wow.
If you're asking where my grandparents came from.
I'm saying, like, are you black? Are you Mexican? Are you
Philippines?
What is your
Filipino? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you feel your race relates to your religious beliefs, or does it?
I can say that, culturally, there's definitely seems to be, if you're one culture, it would be more in line that they're all the same religion.
Christian
so I kind of get what Mike Jones here is saying. And I think that with in the Philippines and Asia, it's another culture where Christianity was pushed upon them. So you do see a lot of Catholics, Christians that are Filipino. I was in a very strong Christian church, very strict,
I wonder why people say it's pushed up on them.
Well, just culturally, geographically, historically, you know what I mean?
Well, baptism, when you baptize somebody, you like punking them before they're old enough to even know what that's all about.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying with you, B, is like you act like the
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
no,
hold on.
hold on, real
Let her
fast,
finish.
Ghetto.
Let her
Hold on, real
finish.
fast.
Then I'll let you go. Let her finish her point, and then I'll let you go.
Well, no, that's basically what I had to say. I mean, I agree that because of what's happened in history to certain cultures, especially someone like the Philippines, where very vulnerable country, where different countries would always be coming in, affecting whatever the culture was, affecting even something like my last name. That's more Spanish than Filipino. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing happens with religion, and I think that's the reason why a lot of times it would be kind of affecting what religion you've been exposed to since you were very young and what all your family has just believed in. So how can you avoid it?
Okay, Fit. That's your name, Fit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the proof of it being pushed on people. Look at the statements that you made. Oh, well, y'all can go to hell then if you don't believe it. That's exactly how it's pushed on everybody. So what if I decided I'm not going to be Christian because I take some stuff good from it, but there's also some sense in Muslim. There's also some sense in Jewish. There's also some sense in Catholicism and all this stuff. But when you're in America, if you're not a Christian, you're going to go to hell. And your whole job and your whole motivation is, I want you to go to heaven, so I'm going to convert you. That is pushing your religion on people. What if I don't want to believe in that? What if I just want to believe in the universe total and just God?
And let me answer that for you.
Okay, hold on.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that for you.
I'm gonna let you answer it. Fit. I'm gonna let you answer it. We're gonna do the wrap up. So we're gonna do the closeout. Go ahead and say how you want to answer it, and after that we wrap it up. So everybody say your part, your last piece.
First of all, we're in America. We get free choice. And second, why would you be mad at any kind of religion that's pushing good thoughts and good feelings? Everybody's angry at Christians, but Christians aren't saying, go shoot somebody in the head, kill some, all the good preaching. So somebody to down something that's good, that shows you there's really an evil in the world, evil presence. So if you're that mad at somebody wanting you to be after your death into a better place, that's crazy. If somebody after your death, they want you to be in a better place, and you feel in your head, I don't believe that. That's crazy.
People
Mike Jones, you want to respond to that on your in parting words as well?
Well, believe it or not, I kind of just like it all. Religion it's all of it to me is just one whole thing. You can take a lot of good out of all of them and not just a lot of good out of one. I don't want anybody to go to hell, but that's because I don't believe in hell. But I'm not going to force anybody or say that they're going to have a punishment because they don't believe like I do. If you love God, any God, if you're a good person, then if there is a heaven, then it's waiting for you, no matter what religion or what God you pray to.
Right. Brain Clinton. 30 seconds real quick.
I mean, I really have nothing to say. It's just like, show and prove. You know, if I can't see it or touch it or measure it, I really have no business speaking on it, so.
Okay. B Jizzle.
Yes, sir. In closing to all of our facts, man, I just want to, once again, give props to everybody who spoke their thing, man. We all have some really valid points. And furthermore, what I really want to take out of this and what I also want to give out of this whole situation is a growth process and a learning, you know what I mean? Perspective, incorporate that into what helped you be somebody. Don't take it for anything literal, but allow it to be a knowledge that you have and use it just like a tool, just like anything else to help you throughout your understanding in your life, bro.
That's what's up, bro.
Jill.
In closing.
In closing, religion, I feel like an observation is definitely that religion is something that occurs all over the world. And I feel like over the thousands of years, it basically is something that I think humankind needs. Because I think of humankind really as an organism that covers this whole earth. And yeah, we do need something to where we're all working towards the same goal. That's how we can survive. That's how we can last eternal, I guess, in my eyes. And so it's kind of a combination of that hope and then what I'm sorry, I forgot your name, is talking about as being proof and being organic and being something that kind of maybe combines the idea of religions and Christianity with science. I kind of think the two can blend. That's why I don't discount God. It's not that I'm see Christianity as bad or want to say anything bad about anybody. That's not what I want to do. Don't want to attack anyone. I'm all about love, and if we can all work towards the same thing, and if religion can be that thing, and everyone can see it as one, then we can do that thing.
Yo, what up, fam? It's the boy Ali Kali.
That's why we're here talking about it. It's not the actual physical money, because the money don't mean shit.
All right, you gonna get out?
No, I'm not.
Wait, so you're not getting out of the car?
Do I have to? What was your name for the record?
Deputy. Okay. You got a license on
It's
you?
not my belief.
Deputy.
Tacos today, tacos tomorrow, taco every day. Hey,
either you with it or you not. This shit about to change everything.
You can't use dollar bills no more. You can't use no paper currency.
I don't think he's an idiot.
Niggas is still talking about slavery.
He's lost his fucking mind.
us as a people were mentally trained to be crabs in a bucket.
Culture people, or people with culture, their culture comes first.
Life is awesome, man. I'm fucking ecstatic, bro.
But I tell you what, he's opened a lot of people's mind, like making people do a little more research than they already have.